Hi everyone, welcome back. It's an exciting day and time because this is the part of the channel that I'm most excited about. It is the Peach Pack related content. As you know, my bestie and I started a business. It is a subscription-based business whereby every month you have a pack that arrives at your door with your choice of menstrual products, as well as different self-care and self-love items that are there to make you feel extra special, just make you feel good whilst it's your time of the month. So usually these style videos I will be doing with Alyssa. However, currently she is away on a family holiday, so I'm just gonna be doing this by myself today, but I'm super excited for her to be in future vlogs. Start this video off. Vidi. So what I think is really interesting about Peach Pack is the process behind it and what it's like starting a business, the ups and downs that you go through, being women in business. Like, that stuff's super interesting to me and is what I have learned so much from. So I thought this channel can be dedicated to the behind the scenes of Peach Pack. So when Alyssa and I are together in America, we're gonna be doing vlogs of us packing the packs, of us going through the logistical things, and I thought I would document it because I feel like that would be super interesting and informative for you guys. I could be wrong, but maybe you'll like it. To kick these style of videos off, I thought I would give you tips on how to start the business. I feel like often that's probably the hardest part, is you have this idea but you're like, where to from here? Now, there are so many different things that you can do, but I thought I would touch on these 4 things that me and Alyssa found really helpful for us. And yeah, I hope that you guys can learn something. Disclaimer, I thought I'd mention that because Peach Pack isn't this like really crazy successful business right now, I feel like that's actually what makes it more interesting, because you guys can see where we are right now at the beginning phase of the business, and then hopefully the more we do this, you can see the growth or the journey that Peach Pack goes on, and you guys will be here with us along the entire journey. So let's get into the video. Tip number 1, find your idea and research the living shit out of it. Thought I'd quickly touch on how we started in case you don't know. But basically, one day Alyssa and I went out for coffee with our friend Ollie, and he was telling us about subscription-based businesses. A subscription business is a business that relies on reoccurring payments, and then the business provides a service usually on a monthly or yearly basis. We started speaking about what people need monthly, and we got into the topic of people needing menstrual products, and we were like, oh my god, that's such a genius idea. And then Alyssa and I, being such strong feminists and best friends, and we're very in sync with each other, and we talk a lot about like women's health and periods, we were like, oh my god, this sounds perfect, because this is a way we can incorporate all of our values and this really cool business idea. That's kind of how it was born, and then from then on we started meeting up every day and started brainstorming, and this is where the research started to kick in. So we started researching competitors in the industry and started looking at other companies that are providing menstrual products on a monthly basis, or not even on a monthly basis, but just other menstrual products that exist within the market. We started to research color schemes and mood boards, and this is where Pinterest really helped us. We created a Peach Pinterest account where we added different mood boards and color schemes and different imagery. We then started creating tables where we would have information of our competitors and then compare it to our business and how we wanted to structure it differently. It was through this where we were able to really create more of a structure and more of a brand identity for Peach Pack. So we actually found the name through Pinterest. Basically, the one day we were looking at different imagery and we came across fruit, and we found that a lot of fruit actually looked and reflected women's body parts. We first came across a grapefruit, because once we saw the inside of a grapefruit, we were like, oh my god, that looks like a vagina. But the more we spoke about the pack and calling them grapefruit, it just didn't fit as we wanted it to. And then we came across the inside of a peach, and it actually looked like blood on a pad, and we were like, oh my god, that really looks like period. And we were like, that looks amazing, and a peach, and we're providing packs, so that's how we kind of combined the two, and we were like, peach pack. So it was through research and through finding inspiration through these different platforms that we were able to create the name. That is tip number 1. Research the industry and the market that you're about to head into and find inspiration, because there is so much out there that you can take from. Tip number 2, create a brand identity. When Alyssa and I were in LA last year, we met with a creative agency, and they asked us if we had a brand book. And at the time we were like, what's the brand book? And then they showed us one of their clients' brand books. And basically, put very, very simply, a brand book is a book that you have compiled, and the book contains all different information and imagery relating to your brand. So this was one of the best parts for Alyssa and I because it was so creative. We went home and started cutting out pictures from magazines and online, and we created our very own brand book. So I thought I would take you through our brand book and explain to you the different pages that we have, why we incorporated those pages, and show you how they look. The first page is obviously the cover photo. The cover page we actually only did once we had completed the brand book, because it was only once we had completed it that we understood exactly what our brand was going to be, and therefore created a cover photo that reflected the entire brand book. The second page is an Our Story page. So this is just a quick brief summary of how it all started and what it is. As you can see, we just incorporated some cute photos of us that we took a very long time ago when we were first starting out. Our second page is a color palette page. So this page incorporates all the colors that we wanted to use for our marketing and for our imagery. If you were to go through our Instagram and if you were to go through our YouTube channel, you would see that the colors are all very coherent and are reflected throughout all of our platforms. Our third page is our font page. So we have a friend in Melbourne who helped us with the original design and logo for Peachpak, and he used this font. It's called Abril Fat Face. And we actually ended up loving it. So we have now adopted that font and we use that throughout all of our platforms and throughout all of our content and imagery. Our fourth page is our mood board page. So we just went and cut out all different imagery from magazines and from online that we thought really reflected the ethos and the identity of our brand. So as you can see, there are different types of people and different types of colors and fruits that we have incorporated. And yeah, we just wanted to create a mini mood board for our brand book. Our next page is the Peachpak People page. So this is really, really important to us, Alyssa and I. When we started Peachpak, we created a list of values that we didn't want to compromise and that we really wanted to uphold within Peachpak. And one of those was being an inclusive space for everyone. And we know that it's not just women who have periods, but also trans men and non-binary people. So we really wanted to create a platform and a space for all different types of people to come together. And that is why we try and not use gendered language, and we try to use imagery that a lot of different people can resonate with. So this page was super important for us. We then have a page that talks about what we are solving as Peachpak. So I'm sure you all know this, but every business aims to solve a problem. So for us, it was the inconvenience of having to go to the store every month and get your own product, as well as breaking the stigma and taboo surrounding periods. We identified these two problems and thought, how could we solve them? And therefore we created Peachpak. So that's just for us to reflect back on if we're ever confused about the direction of Peachpak. We know we'll always have those two main problems that we know we're aiming to solve. And then finally, we have an Our Voice page. So this page incorporates all different words and sentences that we think really reflect Peachpak and our ethos once again. It's not just our voice, but it's the voice we want to create for our community and for everyone who is a part of Peachpak. So it's great to put all these words together onto one page and know that this is what Peachpak is representing. That is the brand book. I highly recommend doing this. It was so fun to make. It really enabled us to be creative, as well as allow us to have a cohesive book whereby we can show anyone this and they know exactly what Peachpak is all about, what the brand is, the voice we want to have. Yeah, it was super fun to make, so I highly recommend doing that. Tip number 3 is to create a business plan. It took Alyssa and I quite a few months to create a business plan. We both don't come from a business degree, so it was quite difficult to get started. So what I do want to say is that don't be afraid to ask people for help. When it came to the business plan, we had lots of different people giving us input and giving us advice so that they could help us create a business plan. I'm not going to go through our business plan on here. However, if you do want me to take you through a structured business plan, let me know in the comments, because that could be a separate video in and of itself. And tip number 4, final tip, is follow through with it. The biggest thing that I have learned with Peachpak is that nothing happens overnight, and success doesn't happen overnight. I speak about this a lot on my social media, but because of what we see online, we assume that everyone is so successful and living their best life. I really struggled with that because when I would go online and see all these thriving businesses, I'm like, why isn't Peachback like thriving and exactly where I want it to be? But then when I take a step back and realize we started brainstorming this like 2 years ago and have only been running it for the past few months. It is so in its early phase of its life that if I wanted it to be successful right now, I feel like that would be a disservice to me and to Alyssa and to all the hard work that we're doing, because then it's not worth it. You really have to go through the ups and the downs for you to experience some form of progress. So you have to be patient, but you just have to follow through with it. So many times you're going to want to give up, but I highly recommend just pushing through. We're still very much at the beginning phases and we have changed and adapted it so many times, but that's the beauty about it. It's the process, it's not the destination. Is that I don't know if that's what the thing is. It's not the journey, it's the destination. No, it's not the destination, it's the journey. So have trust in it and follow through with it. And yeah, I'd love to hear if you guys have like any cool ideas. Let us know in the comments. We really want this to be a collaborative experience for you and for us. So let us know if you have any advice, if you want us to do anything in particular. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Once again, we're really not experts, but I just thought I would give you some tips on what I found really helpful. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. I will see you in my next video.